Okay, so we were talking about spanning tree protocol and EtherChannel. So we say that by default spanning tree protocol is enabled whenever there are redundant links in order to prevent loops in a network. But in EtherChannel, the links are bundled together to form one logical channel, and we learned several theories about EtherChannel in the previous class. Among the protocols that we were going to use is called PAgP, which is port aggregation protocol, and LACP, which is link aggregation control protocol. And I said that port aggregation protocol is a Cisco proprietary protocol that was developed by Cisco, and it only supports Cisco devices. But for LACP, it's a standard. It supports all the networking devices, products, maybe be it HP, Huawei, Cisco, Juniper, Dell, etc., etc. Yeah, so today I want us to go to the practical part of the two, PAgP and LACP. And the first thing that you have to know that when you are configuring these protocols, there are some modes that you have to take into consideration. For example, desirable and active mode and auto mode, and you have to know how to configure them on both sides. You cannot configure auto on both sides. You must configure desirable on one side and auto on the other side, or desirable, but not auto. The same case applies here in link aggregation protocol. You can configure active, it will work. Active passive, it will work, but not passive. Passive, it will not work. Why? Because passive does not negotiate or tries to convert the opposite interface into either channel. But whenever you configure an interface an active mode, it will try to negotiate and convert the opposite side to form either channel. Okay, so I'll just open Packet Tracer, and we'll need a switch, 2960 switch. I need let's say 4 of them, and we connect them. I need three connection between 2 switches. So we said that either channel, all links are in forwarding state, but in spanning tree protocol, some links are put in blocking state in order to prevent loops in the network. So despite in either channel, all links will be put in forwarding state, but there won't be any loops in the network, because the links will act as one logical channel.
Do you set like those blocks, or they are made automatically?
Sorry?
My question is how, like you say, in the spanning mode there is attached the block for in order to have these loops. Like,
Yeah.
do you create the blocking?
Well,
blocks?
Okay, I understand what you're trying to say. I was saying that in spanning tree protocol, some ports are put in blocking state, but others are in forwarding state. And I was saying that spanning tree protocol is enabled by default, so you don't need to do anything. And that's why we are not configuring it here, because it's enabled by default. So those blocks are working on what has been enabled by default. You don't need to do anything on them. It's an intelligent system. It knows what links to put in blocking state. Yeah. Oh, well, as per now, I will not be connecting the PCs. So in this topology, we want to configure 2 EtherChannel protocols. The first one is called LACP, and the other one is called PAgP. So let's say So on this side I'll say PAgP, and on this side we'll say LACP. So basically these EtherChannel protocols, they are configured between switches, and we said, you know, on PAgP there are two modes. We can do desirable auto or desirable, but not auto. I believe you understand that. Yeah, but on LACP we can do active passive or active, but not passive. It won't form. Yeah, and also we normally categorize them in terms of group numbers. For example, I'll just go back on the document, and so here it's not here. Okay, so I was talking about something like a port channel group number. For example, in this topology here, all the links the other channel that will be formed, that we should categorize them in terms of group numbers. For example, either channel that will be formed between this switch 2 and switch 1, it should form a group number 1. Let's say group number 1, channel group number 1, port or channel group 1. I copy that. But the ether channel that will be formed between these two switches should form channel group 2. Also on this side, let's say channel group 3, and on this side we want it to be channel group 4. Okay, so the concept of channel group is very important, because it's the channel group that we'll be using to assign trunk. Remember, when we shall bundle all this together, we said that switch to switch there should be trunk. But now we are in a situation where we want to bundle 4 links together into a single logical channel, and in that channel we assign it to a group, and that group we make it to be trunk, just like here. So for example, in this topology here, you see that this FA0/1, FA0/2. You enter the FA0/1, then you say channel group 1 mod desirable, channel group then interface FA02, channel group 1 mod desirable. So that's what I mean here. And also what I want to write, let's say we want to use for PAgP, we want to use desirable auto for both of them. Copy desirable auto. But for LACP, I want to use active passive, but you can use active or active passive. But for this demo, let's just use this one, active passive. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the step that we're going to follow when configuring either channel. The first step that you should do is to confirm trunk ports or links connecting switches. That's what I mean here. You have to confirm links connecting switches. For example, this switch and this switch, you have to confirm which links are connecting this switch to this one. So for example, if I try to hover over this one, F/6 /6 /8 and /4. I just want them to be uniform. For example, /645, that's 4, that's 5, and that's 6. So we know that the links that are connecting switch 1 to switch 2 are 4, 5, 6. Someone is calling you.
Let me.
Okay, no problem. Just go ahead.
Let's go.
Sorry?
Let's go.
Okay.
Keep going. Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying that the first step is to identify the links that are connecting the switches. Links connecting switches. Okay. So for example, on this one, on this switch 1 and switch 2, let's go to switch 2. We have identified this from it's F/0/4 to F/0/6. So let's go to switch 2. We are starting with this one first. LACP active channel group 1. Let's go to switch 2. It's F/06, F/04, and F/06. So it's uniform on my side. What do I do now? I go ahead and configure EtherChannel, and I will start with this switch here, switch 1. I just clicked, you enter CLI, you come. We have identified the links that are connecting the switches. So what do? Enter the links, and assign channel group and LACP mode. We said in LACP there are two modes, passive, active. When you apply active on one side, we should apply passive on the other side. Okay, so let's just go enable config T interface FA0/4 to 6, because there were only 3 interfaces connecting switch 1 to switch 2. On switch 1 they were from FA0/4 to FA0/6. Then you hit enter. Interface range.
Invalid.
Yeah, it should be interface range.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So after doing this, we assign what's called channel group and LACP mode. On the diagram here, we've been told to use channel group 1, and LACP mode should be active passive. Once, if this side to be active, then this side should be passive. One side cannot have 2 modes, one mode at a time. So let's say channel group 1 mode to be active, just like that. So you can see a LAN protocol set to down, then it's changed to up first, because it's now, it's no longer the physical interface. It's just a physical interface from a physical view, but the functionality part of it is a virtual logical channel. Yeah. So you exit. Remember, we've done 2 things here.
So from there, the point is for LCP, it's gonna be mode active.
Yes, on this side. I said when we are configuring LCP, one side to be active, the other one should be passive. So on this side, we have made it to be active, and when we go to this side, we will make it passive. Yeah. So
Gotcha.
the next thing is to enter the port, the channel group. Enter interface channel group, and assign trunk. So remember, we've just created channel group 1 here, channel group 1. So what do? We just say port, just let me query port what, let me just confirm. I think I'm forgetting. Okay, sorry, I've just said enter interface channel group. So what we do, we just say interface. I forgot interface port channel 1, because here the channel group was 1. Then you hit enter and you say switch port mode trunk, and you hit enter, exit, and do right. So we have finished configuring LACP on the 3 interfaces, the 3 ports. So let's go on this side so that we can configure LACP here, and the links should form EtherChannel. There should be not, we don't want to see the orange things here. We want them to turn green. So let's go to switch 2. I go to CLI, enable config T. The first step was to confirm trunk or links connecting the switches. The links that are connecting switch 2 to switch 1 from switch 2 are FA0/4, /5, and /6. So the second step, enter the links and assign channel group and LACP mode. Remember, the channel group between these 2 switches is 1. LACP mode is active passive. So we assign on this side active, and now on this side should be passive. Yeah. So interface range FA0/4 to 6. Yeah. Channel group
mods passive.
Channel group 1 mode to be passive. Hit enter, then you exit. The third step, which is most important one, is to enter interface port channel group and assign trunk. So we just say interface port channel 1, hit enter, then switch port mode to trunk and exit, do right. Okay, so as you can see, EtherChannel is a long process. It's a very complicated process that these 2 links, this side and this side, will keep on negotiating until they reach agreement, and when they reach agreement, everything will turn green. So let's move between switch 1 and switch 3. Let's identify the first step, confirm or identify links connecting the 2 switches, switch 1 and switch 3. So let's start. On switch 1 we have FA0/3, FA0/2, FA0/2/3, So we have a phase versus 3, 2, and I can just confirm from this point. I can see a phase versus 1, 2, and 3, because you can see a phase versus 4, 5, 6. When you check under VLAN number, you can see it's dash dash because we have assigned them to trunk on the other side. So it's a phase versus 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, as I said previously, this one should form green green. You can see it has negotiated and everything is now green green. So we want the same to happen here. Now the 3 links on the channel group 1 have been bundled together into one logical channel. So it's like one thing containing different models. Yeah. So let's go ahead to configure EtherChannel on this switch, between this switch and this one. You just do it individually. So we start with interface range FA 0/123. Yeah, channel group
1.
No, the channel group 1 applied here between these two switches. Yeah, so here we have now a different channel group. Yeah, so here the channel group is 2, and now we have the second channel group, which is channel group 2 mod active or passive, because we need to apply active passive. So we can just say on this side
we have already used passive active. Okay, at this point, do we use any more?
Sorry?
So here, which mode do we use?
Well, it's active passive. So on either side you can use passive or active, but make sure when one side is active, the other side is passive. So it doesn't matter which side we put passive or we put active. But make sure when you're configuring LACP, make sure that one side is passive, the other side is active. What I mean there, it doesn't mean this one. I don't mean this side and this side. I mean this side between the switches. I don't mean within the switch. I mean even if this one and this one. Now if here is active, then here should be passive. And if here is passive, here should be active. Yeah, so it should be like that. Passive, exit. Then now we enter the interface by channel group interface, port channel 2, because our group was 2. Now you include what was here, the channel group 2. Yeah, switch port mod trunk, hit enter, exit, and do right. So we are done configuring EtherChannel on this switch. Now let's go to this switch. The first thing that we do, we confirm the links connecting the two switches. So which one is this one? This one is a phase 0/6, a phase 0/5, and finally a phase 0/4. So I go here, enable, configure terminal, interface range FA 0/4 to 6. Yeah, FA 0/4 to 6. Then you say channel group 2. Don't forget, because if you put them in the different channel group, either channel will not be formed. Make sure that you put them in the same channel group. If this side is channel group 2, this side must be channel group 2. If this side is channel group 1, then this side should be channel group 1. So make sure that the opposite sides, both sides, have the same channel group. So I go ahead, channel group 2, then mod. Can you now tell me the mod that I will put here?
for that it's gonna be mode active.
Yes, because on that side I put passive. Yeah. So exit here. Then interface port channel
Port channel
2. Switch port mode trans and do right to save. So let's just give them time. They will form either channel. They will turn to green, just the other side turned. And after all of them have turned, we'll go individually to each switch and show you how they have formed either channel. So the next step is to configure either channel between switch 3 and switch 0. And our steps are here. Confirm trunk port or links connecting the two switches. Let's confirm the links here. This is FA0/3, FA0/3, and this one is FA0/2, FA0/1.
So repeat that.
Sorry?
I got lost. So for these we have already said that the switch 1, switch 2, and switch 3.
Yeah.
It's up now to set up switch 0, right?
Yeah.
And for these, we would simply use the same method, but we only change the group under the modes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a matter of channel group. The channel group between the links should be the same. Let's say it's a point to point. Point to point is just something that is connecting two things directly. So
it's up to you to the like as a network professional, you will just decide which group belongs to which.
Yes. Yeah, you know, in network you have documentation, like network documentation. So you have to specify a distinct group that should belong to the either channel. But for test cases we normally use group 1, group 2, group 3 for easy remembrance. But in your case, if you're a professional, you can define your own. Okay, so we are done configuring either channel using LACP protocol, link aggregation control protocol, which is a standard either channel protocol. Now we are going to the left side, which is PAgP, port aggregation protocol. Now here, switch 2 has formed either channel with switch 1. But now we want the same switch 2 to form either channel with switch 0. And now we also have to configure either channel between switch 2 and switch 0. It was at the center, so it had the responsibility to form either channel with both sides. So let's configure a second category of either channel here for group 3. The first step, confirm trunk ports or links connecting the switches. So for example, this is FA01, FA03, FA02. So for example, I'll go interface range FA0/1 to 3, channel group 3. A switch can belong to several channel groups. For example, this will belong to channel group, 2 channel groups. This will belong to 2 channel groups, but this one is only one. This one will belong to channel groups, 2 channel groups, 2 channel groups, 2 channel groups. So let's go on this switch and interface range, that one, channel group 3. Then mode we want to put desirable auto. So on this side, let's say mode to be desirable. That's that one. Then we exit, we say interface port channel 3, you switch the group, then you say switch port mode trunk, do right. Did you understand about the PAgP? Because I was quiet.
I was just going through what we're doing. I see there is interface range, channel group, mode disable.
So you have to understand that in PAgP we have two modes, auto and desirable. So if you configure one side to be desirable, the other side should be auto. If you consider one side to be auto, the other side should be desirable. And these steps are the same. What differs is just here. Mode. Only. Every step is the same. What we are configuring in LACP and what we are configuring in PAgP are the same. But what differs is just mode. In LACP, we're just putting here active or passive. But you know, in PAgP, we are putting desirable or auto. Everything's just the same here.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have configured EtherChannel from this switch to this switch. So let's finish, complete the formation. We need to configure EtherChannel from this switch to this switch. So let's go to this switch. This is FA0/3, FA0/2.
For this, we do make every each interface. We don't use the range.
We use the range. I'm just trying to confirm which interfaces are those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's FA0/1 to 3. Interface range FA0/1 to 3. Then we say channel group. Channel group 3. You have to consider this one. Channel group 3. Mode to be desirable will work, but you know we configure on this side desirable. So on this side it should be auto.
That's auto.
Yes, auto. And you hit enter. Then we exit that interface. Then we say interface port channel 3. Then switch port mode to be trunk. Do right. So we are only remaining with the one EtherChannel that we've not configured for channel group 4. We've configured for channel group 1, channel group 2, and we've just done channel group 3. And all the steps, the configuration are the same. What differs is only between the modes. So as you can see, wherever we are from, whatever we've done, all have turned to green, meaning they are all in forwarding state. They have been bundled together into one logical channel. So let's form EtherChannel between switch 0 and switch 3. So I'll confirm the interfaces. So this one is FA6, FA5, and finally 4. So I go to this switch and say exit this interface range FA0/4 to 6. Then we say channel group this one, channel group 4, mode to be, let's say, desirable on this side, and we exit. Then we enter interface port channel 4. You use the channel group. Then you say switch port mod trunk and do right. So we have finished, we have completed configuring EtherChannel on this switch. So let's go to this switch and configure EtherChannel on these interfaces. Remember, we have already done on the other interface that is facing LACP, but the other but the side that are facing PAgP we have not done. So let's just read these interfaces: FA0/3, 2, and finally 1. So it's exit interface range FA0/1 to 3, channel group channel group 4, mode to be auto, because on the other side it was desirable. Hit enter, exit, then interface port channel 4, switch port mode trunk, do right. So that's how we configure EtherChannel. It's pretty much simple, very simple. And for the sake of a quick recap, I'll just demonstrate and a little bit write some commands on the workspace. But before that, I will wait until the two between this one and this one to form EtherChannel. Then I show the EtherChannel formation on every switch. So it's pretty much simple. It's very simple. What you have to know is just to identify the interfaces that are connecting between switches, and then you assign a channel group to them. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have to assign the channel group to them, and after assigning a channel group to them, you have to turn you have to set the mode, and after setting the mode, you assign the trunk mode to the port channel group. So for example, if I go to this switch that has formed fully EtherChannel, exit, do show port EtherChannel. So you can see here. So on this switch here, I said that we configured PAgP and LACP, and we had group 3 and group 1, because this switch here was covering group 1 and group 3. So if I just bring this up here, you will see that we have group 1, and group 1 was PAgP. Then we have group 3, which is LACP. Yeah. So, and you can see ports, there are only 3 ports that we've used here. We've only used 3 ports here. We have only used 3 ports here, and here also on the on this information, we can only bundle a maximum of 8 ports. A maximum of 8 ports, but here we can bundle how many ports? Max 16 ports. No, it cannot be 16. It's always been a maximum of 8 ports. So EtherChannel max, let me just confirm from internet. It's always been EtherChannel. I think that's just a different information that I don't know, but it's all been 8 ports that we can bundle together. It's always been 8 port. Maybe if your technology has changed to that extent, but I don't know. You can see yeah, it's always been 8 ports that we can bundle together. So I think that's just an information that I still don't know as per now, and I'll just try to research about it. Okay, so there EtherChannel has been formed. So let's go to this switch 3, because this switch 3 I can still see there are some orange there, because some maybe negotiation normally takes a lot of time. Sometimes do show either channel. So here also there are 2 ether channels that have been formed, group 2 and group 4. So although they have been formed, but this is still orange. But when you give it time, or when we reload this file here, I believe it will be formed fully. So let's go to this one also. Just say exit, do show either channel. So that's also group 3 and group 4. Good. Group 3 and group 4, that's okay. So basically I think this video will really help you now to configure the channel. What you have to know is just to enter the interfaces. For example, if it's interface range FA0/1 to 3, then you just say channel group 1 mode to be, let's say we are using LACP active. And before that, allow me to check something on net before I can proceed. LACP, like I said, we use active and passive, but the switch gave a very rogue details. You know, I was wondering if I forgot things, but I was right. Let me just go to switch this switch here. From internet you can see that LACP modes are active and passive, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello, I hear you.
Okay. So I was just saying that these are how they have been either channel has been formed, and these are just the steps that you follow. And for example, when you are going to channel group 1, you make it mode active, then you exit the interface, then you enter the interface port group 1, then you assign it to switch port mode trunk, and that's you're just done with the configuration. And just make sure that what you do on this side, if it's LACP, then the mode to be passive on this side, active on this side, or passive on this side and active on this side. And don't forget the channel group. The channel group must be consistent, because if they belong to different channel groups, either channel will not be formed. And now you know we have to use the full bandwidth between the switch and the switch. All of these links will be forwarding data, and for example, if one goes down, communication will not be interrupted because there are redundant links between the two switches. So it's pretty much simple. It's very simple. EtherChannel is one of the simplest protocol to configure. Just have to know the two protocols, LACP and PAgP.
Bernard,
Yeah.
why we for switch 0 to 3 we are still having those yellow stars?
Well, sometimes
Why they don't get green? I have already set that configure them.
well, sometimes in either channel, some interfaces still remain to be orange, because as much as we have configured either channel, because we've done it correctly on this switch, correctly on this switch, correctly on this switch, but for some reason that I still don't know up to now, some interfaces normally remain to be orange. So but that one I can just check on internet right now. So I was saying, if we restart, let's say, let me just do it manually. I just want to try to do reload. Yes, I want to reload all the switches and see if we can have a new formation, new negotiation. All the switches so that we can have a new negotiation. But EtherChannel was configured successfully on the switches. So it's I would say it's a very simple configuration that is used to maximize the bandwidth used in the network. So you have to know the two protocols, LACP and PAgP, and know how to configure them, the modes, and know that when a port channel is configured to one hand, then the other hand should have the same channel group, and you have to assign them to trunk so that you know they can form either channel. So as you can see, negotiation is still taking place, and so I don't know which interface will remain oranges, but let's just wait. If it's formed that way, then I'll go out and do more research, and because in the channel, the purpose of either channel is to maximize the bandwidth, put all the interfaces in forwarding state, and eliminate loops in the network. Meaning when its function is to eliminate loops, then the oranges should not occur. And if the oranges are occurring, then we need to do a little bit of research, and on that I will let you know in the next class, because EtherChannel has been configured on all the switches correctly, and this might be some underlying reason or functionality that has been put in the Cisco iOS, because you can see here all the interfaces, here all the interfaces, here all the interfaces, maybe, of which I don't want to say loops, but loops, EtherChannel should be able to eliminate loops. So maybe if you have another question, so that we proceed.